Time now is 11 p.m. Our headlines. FADILLAH Yusof is now Malaysia's Deputy Prime Minister. Following the Unity Cabinet lineup, a special Cabinet meeting will be held on Monday. Plus, we've asked an analyst on his thought of the newly formed Unity Cabinet. Hello there, you're now with me, Douglas Elliott, and this is TVS Nightline. Gabungan Parti Sarawak's Dato' Sri FADILLAH Yusof and UMNO's Dato' Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi have been appointed as the Deputy Prime Ministers in the Unity Government led by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim. FADILLAH will also carry the ministerial portfolio of plantations and commodities. Other appointments from Sarawak include Dato' Sri Alexander Nantalinggi as Works Minister, Dato' Sri Nancy Shukri as Minister of Women, Family and Community Development, Dato' Sri Cheong King Sing as Minister of Tourism, and Dato' Aaron Ago Dagang as Minister of National Unity. Following that, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said that a special meeting with the new cabinet lineup would be held on Monday. The meeting, among others, is to discuss the ground rules for the ministers in carrying out their duties.
Mesyuarat khas hari Isnin ini juga untuk menetapkan beberapa peraturan baru bagi jemaah menteri. Cara mereka mengurus kementerian, cara mereka berdamping dan bekerjasama dengan pejabat awam, cara mereka membuat pengumuman-pengumuman dasar, dan cara jimat sebagai contoh untuk tidak membelanjakan lebih daripada yang sepatutnya.
Newly appointed Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri FADILLAH Yusof has expressed his gratitude over his latest appointment. In a statement that was just released, the Petrajaya Member of Parliament acknowledged that the move was a sign of recognition for Sarawak as well as Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS.
FADILLAH gave his assurances that he will fully bear the responsibilities and trust as decreed by His Majesty the Yang di-Pertuan Agong for a more stable and prosperous Malaysia. Meanwhile, Kapit MP Dato' Sri Alexander Nantalinggi is aware that his responsibility as the new Works Minister comes with its own set of challenges. In a statement released immediately after the announcement, the former Minister of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs is committed to the effort of ensuring a smooth administration to the best of his abilities. Nanta also would like to emphasize that he is a minister for all, not just for Sarawakians. Therefore, he will ensure every effort and initiative taken under his ministry will bring good to all Malaysians, including those in Sabah and Sarawak. Nanta urged to all people to put aside all differences and be together to focus on the efforts of building Malaysia in the eyes of the world.
The newly formed Unity Cabinet lineup was well thought out by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Hence, various factors were taken into consideration in fielding both experience as well as young faces in the newly formed cabinet, said political analyst Dr. Jeneri Amir.
Ini merupakan satu barisan kabinet yang telah difikirkan dengan amat teliti dan semasak-masaknya oleh Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim dengan mengambil kira pelbagai faktor termasuk faktor konvensional yang diamalkan sebelum ini, iaitu termasuk dari segi parti yang mendukung kerajaan ini, dua dari segi kaum, dari segi agama, gender, usia, malah dari segi wilayah juga. Berdasarkan apa yang kita dapat lihat dari senarai itu, ternyata bahawa beliau telah mengambil kira pelbagai aspek yang kiranya dapat melakarkan satu kabinet yang betul-betul dapat berprestasi tinggi dalam keupayaan untuk menepati kehendak rakyat dan juga memenuhi segala aku janji dan juga harapan rakyat yang telah diletakkan dalam manifesto masing-masing parti yang bergabung di bawah kerajaan perpaduan ini.
According to Janiri, the combination of new and experienced ministers will create a dynamic team that can work together under the umbrella of a unity government.
Gandingan yang pengalaman, kelayakan, latar belakang, kemahiran dan potensi yang pelbagai itu sebenarnya kabinet ini merupakan satu kabinet yang begitu kaya dari segi latar belakangnya. Jadi kita berharap mereka dapat menggarap dan merumuskan dasar-dasar yang efektif untuk tangani segala permasalahan rakyat, khususnya dari segi ekonomi, peluang pekerjaan, kos sara hidup dan inflasi dan sebagainya.
Similarly, Janiri stressed the additional post for a Sarawakian minister as well as a Sarawakian deputy prime minister is an accomplishment in itself.
Dari Sarawak saja terdapat 5 orang menteri. Ini satu yang membanggakan kerana pertambahan 1 berbanding 4 sebelum ini. Dan lebih lagi dengan adanya jawatan yang begitu menarik iaitu Timbalan Perdana Menteri. Saya percaya bahawa kabinet ini tidaklah merupakan satu kabinet yang menampilkan satu kejutan yang besar. Kecuali barangkali ada senator di situ yang dilantik dan juga Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi juga sebagai Timbalan Perdana Menteri, tapi yang lain-lain saya percaya adalah mereka yang sudah ada pengalaman akan berganding bahu dengan mereka yang baru, dan kabinet itu akan dapat berjalan seiring sejalan dengan harapan Perdana Menteri.
Deputy Premier Dato Sri Dr. Sim Kui Han is hopeful that the unity government under Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim will bring about much-needed stability to the country. As such, society has become notably more polarized in recent years. In Malaysia, this manifests itself through a wider gap between the views and shift in values of voters, most notably in the just concluded general election.
In West Malaysia, the GE15 is shown that Malaysia very sad after 59 years. Started off with a very racial, harmonious, multi-racial, and now we are very divisive. Malaysia is very divisive and very polarized. I wish our new Prime Minister, Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, success in unity government, because it's a new dawn. The first time in 59 years old history that we have a unity government.
He was met by reporters after officiating the launching of a new school block of SJK Chonghua Batu 35, located along Serian Kuching Road on Friday. Dr. Sim, who is also the Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, also hopes that through the unity government, Sarawak will be able to achieve its aspiration of becoming a developed and high-income region by 2030.
People in West Malaysia always admire Sarawak. Yes, Sarawakians, a lot of them in West Malaysia because they're looking for jobs. But next few years, for the first time, we are going to have so much opportunity. What we are doing is to provide political stability. We are not extremists, we are not polarized, and they can come home and happy, and not come home equally frustrated.
He added by 2030, Sarawak aspires to become a prosperous, inclusive and harmonious region with everyone enjoying a slice of wealth and prosperity.
Ministry of Public Health, Housing and Local Government is participating towards sustainable cities and communities. Its Minister Dato Sri Dr. Sim Kui Han said his ministry has initiated the use of the Malaysian Urban Rural Nationwide National Indicators Network to measure sustainable development goal journey.
I told the Pengarang, some of the indicators, right, it doesn't fit us in Sarawak, because they are highly dense, highly networked and all those things, so may not be applicable to us.
He said this in an Excellent Service Award APC ceremony of the Ministry of Public Health, Housing and Local Government earlier today. Dr. Sim added this effort shows the ministry's responsiveness towards any new initiatives that prioritize sustainability in line with its vision to ensure a better quality of life for Sarawakians. The event today saw 320 recipients from the Ministry of Public Health, Housing and Local Government receive the 2021 Excellent Service Awards. According to Dr. Sim, the recipients are the ones who managed to overcome the overwhelming obstacles during the COVID-19 pandemic and serve the community intact without fail.
The State Financial Secretary's office today has revised the estimated 2021 state revenue down to 8.36 billion ringgit, with a shortfall of 745 million in revenue collection and not 2.4 billion ringgit as claimed by Padangan Assemblyman Chong Cheng Jen. In a statement released today, the office said that the revision was done following the unfavorable outlook and poor performance of the global economy. It added the shortfall was mainly contributed by state sales tax or SST of 59%, dividend receipts of 33% and interest income of 12%. Variances in revenue from SST were due to lower collection from tax on crude petroleum and LNG, lottery, aluminum and tire. As for dividend receipts, the office informed that the lower collection was due to the economic slowdown affecting the performances of oil and gas companies and other state investments. Meanwhile, for interest income, low overnight policy rate or OPR in 2021 at an average of 1.75% per annum has also affected earnings from interest income. For information, the major contributors to Sarawak revenue are mainly royalties on oil and gas, state sales tax, dividend recipients, interest income, royalty on raw water and land premiums. In an attempt to uphold the Arabic and Chinese calligraphy, Sarawak will be organizing the first of its kind competition in Malaysia. The event would see 210 calligraphers nationwide convene at the Imperial Hotel in Kuching from December 19 to 20th. Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, Dato' Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said the competition transcends all religious and racial differences.
Yang saya tahu belum pernah saya mendengar kedua-dua ini dibuat sekali macam itu. Inilah yang memberi keunikan kepada apa yang hendak diusahakan oleh pihak penganjur Jabatan Agama Islam dan juga Persatuan Kaligrafi Kuching Semerahan yang mengaturnya di peringkat kebangsaan.
Karim spoke during the event's press conference held at Baitul Makmur on Friday. He noted participants stand a chance to win a fraction of a cash prize from the total 58,600 ringgit prize pool. The competition features two categories for each form of calligraphy, which are the secondary school category and the open category.
Johan untuk kaligrafi terbuka Cina adalah 6,000. Untuk kaligrafi Arab pun 6,000. Naib Johannya 3,000 dan untuk kedua-dua dan ketiga adalah 2,000. Dan selain daripada itu juga akan diberi hadiah kepada sagu hati. Sagu hatinya pun cukup lumayan sekali, 800 ringgit untuk acara terbuka. Untuk acara kategori menengah, Johannya adalah 2,000 untuk kedua-dua, naib Johannya 1,500 dan ketiga adalah 1,000. Dan untuk tempat keempat ataupun sagu hati jumlahnya adalah 800 dan ada 10 orang yang akan mendapat sagu hati yang dikategorikan sebagai cemerlang.
Karim also proposed to the organizers that the event has the element to be turned international for its second edition next year. Members of the public are welcome to join the event and participate in a calligraphy workshop hosted by international calligraphy experts.
Now don't go anywhere because still to come, CMC to expedite study of online content management framework, and plus China eases COVID curbs as virus spreads. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. TVS's reality program Getaran Jiwa has just concluded the second half of its semi-finals. 7 contestants are vying for the position in the finals. Now, for more details, we have Camilla Yunus joining us from the site. Camilla, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Douglas. The second half of semi-final of Getaran Jiwa features 7 contestants competing to secure a spot in final. 5 of them were contestants who won preliminary round from each episode, while 2 of them were absorbed SGJ kembali, namely Mia Harry from the 4th week and Yunadia from the 5th week. Just a few moments ago, we saw 2 contestants who qualified for the finals, namely Arul Arel and Afif Tenor. Also, just to share with you another highlight, our local star Sarawakian singer Alessandro also made his appearance and sang Berkikis Bulu Betis, in which we can see many local fans were all hyped up enjoying the performance. Next week will be the final week of Getaran Jiwa, and let us figure out who will give a smashing performance and win the hearts of viewers. Well, what can I say? The heat is on, and all I can share for now is don't forget to watch Getaran Jiwa every Friday at 45 PM at Astro 1, 2 through TVS and My TV. I'm Camilla Yunus and Ahmad Nasrullah reporting for TVS. Over to you, Douglas.
Thank you so much, Camilla. Now, the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) is committed to escalate the review of the online content management framework. MCMC Interim Chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Salim Fateh Din said this is to address content-provoking racism and disharmony amongst the people in the country.
As such, he said that it is apt that the regulatory framework is reviewed given the current situation online that perpetuates the spread of content detrimental to national security and harmony, including elements of extreme ideology and fake news. He added that the regulatory framework review covers aspects pertaining to licensing, relevance of existing penalties, as well as the need of introducing new laws. As such, he urged all parties to continue to respect and embrace this diversity, to be inclusive, honoring race, religion, and royal institutions.
The total number of dengue fever reported during the 47 epidemiological week rose by 8.9% or 1,734 cases compared to 1,593 in the previous week, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said. However, he added that no death from the complications due to dengue fever was reported during the week.
In a statement on Friday, December 2nd, he said the cumulative number of dengue fever reported to date was 56,304 cases compared to 23,547 cases during the corresponding period last year, which is an increase of 139.1%, while the total numbers of deaths reported dengue fever during the period this year was 37 from 18 in 2021. He also pointed out that there are also 54 hotspot locations identified during this week, compared with 61 hotspots in the week before, with 25 hotspots in Selangor, 19 in Sabah, 7 in the Federal Territories of Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya, 2 in Perak, and 1 in Sarawak. At the same time, Dr. Nur Hisham said surveillance stance on chikungunya recorded 18 cases in the 47 ME, with 11 cases in Penang, Selangor 4, and 1 each in the Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya, Negeri Sembilan, and Malacca. He further disclosed that recreational parks and playgrounds were still risk areas for dengue fever infection. As such, Dr. Nur Hisham said every household must inculcate the culture of maintaining cleanliness by not throwing rubbish indiscriminately from a young age so that it will become a habit when they reach adulthood.
Malaysia has shown elevated records in foreign tourist arrivals after the reopening of the border in last April. Tourism Malaysia Director General Dato' Zainuddin Abdul Wahab said Tourism Malaysia is optimistic to achieve the government's target of having 9.2 million tourist arrivals in 2022. He told this to reporters at the launch of the Northern Malaysia Coffee Experience on Friday. Commenting further, the main focus of tourist arrivals will be on the domestic, regional as well as medium-haul markets. Zainuddin pointed out that China was the main contributor in 2021, but the country has yet to open its borders, and his agency is now focusing on other countries in the Asian region, including the Middle East and so on.
In Washington. Meanwhile, the French president said both countries also agreed to readjust their approaches to address serious trade concerns that Europe has expressed over the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act, IRA. Macron said this during a joint press conference with Biden at the White House. He added that France and U.S. tasked teams to maintain close cooperation and coordination, especially with other European countries, to solve the trade issues over the IRA.
Chinese cities where COVID-19 is still spreading are easing off restrictions ahead of an unexpected shift in virus policies nationwide. However, the uneven relaxation is feeling fierce among some residents who suddenly feel more exposed to the disease.
China's COVID policies have hammered its economy, choking everything from domestic consumption to factory output to global supply chains and causing severe mental stress for hundreds of millions of people. Anger over the world's toughest curbs fueled dozens of protests in more than 20 cities in recent days in a show of civil disobedience. Less than 24 hours after people clashed with white hazmat-suited riot police in Guangzhou, the city lifted lockdowns in at least 7 of its districts. The national health officials have said China will address the urgent concerns expressed by the public and is set to announce a nationwide easing of quarantine and testing requirements. According to state media, some communities now require less frequent testing and are allowing close contacts of infected people to quarantine at home. State media also reported some areas in Guangzhou resumed dine-in services, and residents are no longer asked to present negative PCR tests to enter. In nearby Shenzhen, some people will be allowed to quarantine at home. In Chongqing, a wide range of businesses from barbershops to gyms were allowed to resume this week. In Chengdu, passengers no longer needed negative test results to take the bus or subway. In Jincheng, people can now enter karaoke venues but still cannot dine inside restaurants. However, many communities in areas designated as high risk by various cities remain under lockdown, and many people are still required to undergo daily tests.
Wrapping up TVS Nightline tonight, Indonesia's parliament is expected to pass a new criminal code this month that will penalize sex outside of marriage. Officials confirmed the legislative overhaul will also ban insulting the president or state institutions and expressing any views counter to Indonesia's state ideology.
Indonesia's Deputy Justice Minister Edward Omar Sharif Hariech said the new criminal code, decades in the making, is expected to be passed on December 15. According to the latest draft dated November 24th, sex outside marriage, which can only be reported by limited parties such as close relatives, carries a maximum 1-year prison sentence. Insulting the president, a charge that can only be reported by the president, carries a maximum of 3 years. The draft has the support of some Islamic groups in a country where conservatism is on the rise, although opponents argue that it reverses liberal reforms enacted after the 1998 fall of authoritarian leader Suharto. A previous draft of the code was set to be passed in 2019 but sparked nationwide protests. Tens of thousands of people demonstrated at the time against a raft of laws, especially those seen to regulate morality and free speech, which they said would curtail civil liberties. Andreas Harsono of Human Rights Watch said the changes to the code will be a huge setback to Indonesian democracy. The Deputy Justice Minister dismissed the criticism, saying the final version of the draft would ensure that regional laws adhered to national legislation and the new code will not threaten democratic freedoms.
And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline tonight. My name is Douglas Elliott. Thank you for watching and have a good weekend ahead.